Raising Ori is not really much different than raising any other child. The challenge can be raising the rest of the world around Ori. I mean, they're not any different than raising my other kids. They all have very unique personalities. If anything, it's maybe been more educational for me because there was a lot I wasn't aware of in regards to gender and sexuality studies before having an intersex child.
I learned the word intersex when I don't remember when that was, but I know Mom's always told me. Mom said everybody's body looks different and that my body looks a little more different from the rest.
Ori Turner was born with a rare intersex condition. It means Ori has both XX chromosomes, generally found in girls, and XY chromosomes, which are generally found in boys. A little more than a year ago, Ori decided they wanted to go by the pronoun they instead of he or she.
We found out Ori was intersex when they were 7 weeks old. They did have a little bit of a physical difference in their body, and I think as parents, your mind, when a doctor can't give you an answer right away, kind of goes to the worst space, right? So when I found out I was intersex, it seemed way more manageable to me. Like the fear of my child possibly being sick or possibly having to go through a treatment or whatever was way more terrifying. So to me, this diagnosis, if you want to call it that, just meant that I had to educate myself as a parent and help them a little bit more on their journey in life, but that they were healthy.
Doctors assigned Ori a female gender at birth, and Ori lived as a girl until a conversation with their mother at the end of first grade.
Mom went upstairs to tuck us all in, and I was like, Mom, I feel like something went wrong in your tummy.
I distinctly remember feeling almost like a jab. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And they said, well, I feel like I'm pretending to be a girl and I'm really a boy.
I just really didn't feel like myself as a girl. And when I was a boy, I really did feel like myself.
I did cry that night, and I thought about how am I gonna get this together and figure out everything with the school, and I worried about the social aspects. But I distinctly remember thinking to myself that Ori being intersex is a gift. So I remember thinking at that point at the end of first grade, how can I turn this into something for Ori to feel proud of and not something that you think went wrong?
After living as a boy for several years, Ori began to gravitate to non-binary people at intersex conferences. That's when Ori decided they wanted to go by non-gender specific pronouns. Ori also learned about cosmetic surgeries that are often performed on the genitalia of intersex children after they've been diagnosed.
We decided not to do the surgeries because when you're making this decision for someone, even if it was possibly the right decision, they could end up questioning that later just because that decision was taken from them.
Intersex bodies themselves are being erased. The act of surgery is an act of erasure.
At one of the gender conferences Ori attended, they became friends with activist Amanda Sines.
I learned that I was intersex when I was 13 years old. About 1 in 2,000 infants are born with bodies that are visibly variant, immediately after birth. That child is going to have to live with the consequences of the medical decisions that were made for them for the rest of their lives, as opposed to making that decision on their own terms when they're much older. Now, I don't think that everyone who has experienced these surgeries are traumatized, but a good deal of us are. A good deal of us have felt like we've lost something. We've lost a part of ourselves.
After hearing stories like Amanda's, Ori decided to join the fight against surgeries on intersex children.
We were attending a Gender Odyssey conference in Seattle. It was the first time that they had learned about these surgeries.
We went home and I was like, Mom, why haven't you been doing anything to stop this from happening? Mom and Dad were like, well, we want to wait till you grew up and decided. And I was like, well, now I want to.
It enables them to have the ability to have a voice and be heard as their authentic self.
I heard other people's stories and I told Mom I want to give them the life I got. And then I became an activist, and here we are today.
Dr. Kevin Wang watched a video of Ori and Kristina giving a talk at a TEDx conference. He invited them to speak to medical students about their experiences dealing with physicians.
As medical professionals, we get really little training in the intersex community.
And in order to truly respect the autonomy of intersex children, language should be carefully used so as not to make the child patient feel that surgery is necessary as part of becoming an adult.
I feel that 10, 20, 30 years ago, the model of care was particularly paternalistic, and we often just made decisions for people. They see something that is considered a different variation or what is considered quote-unquote abnormal, and we feel we have this sudden urge to fix something. And what I feel we don't really fully understand is by doing something now, we forget the consequences of what can happen later.
As activists seek to ban intersex surgeries on newborns, it could be an uphill battle. Some medical professionals still believe surgeries can benefit some intersex children, and not everyone who received surgery is unhappy with the results. Many at least think it should be up to the parents to decide.
I used to worry about the future, about them finding love and getting married and all the things that make life awesome. And so part of the advice we give as parents is our lived experience. I guess I used to worry about that, but I don't really worry anymore because now Ori does have an amazing network of intersex adults and teens and people their age that they can turn to that have that lived experience, and they can help each other through those journeys.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.